What up, everybody, and welcome to the FB and Goob Show and Pack Talk with FB, sponsored by the Good Time Tavern of Livermore, California. Well, listen, week 3, training camp. And what did we learn this week? Well, we learned a few things. We had what we had. We had a joint practice with the Patriots this week. We had a preseason game with the Patriots this week. And we had Monday. So here we go. Rashawn Gary, a full week of practice and still going. No setbacks, looks good. Only personal drills, these are only individual drills. No team drills, but still, no setbacks. No like, oh, that hurts a little bit. So that's a good thing. Van Ness getting more starts with the first string. I really am excited about that. I mean, this kid just needs to get reps. He's got all the talent. He's got the size, the strength, the speed, he had some nice plays in the Bengals game. And we'll talk about the Patriots game. So let's go. Day one, Emmanuel Wilson, man. I think he's changing for the backs right now. All the backs in practice right now, they've got to be going, shit, I thought I had this. Goodson, he probably thought he had it. I don't know if Nichols ever thought he had it, but I got a good feeling Goodson thought he had it. Patrick Taylor plays a lot on special teams too, so that's kind of an advantage to Patrick Taylor for just maybe staying on the team. But for showing up as a running back and playing as a running back, Emmanuel Wilson, man, I'm thrilled to death. And on Monday, he continued to show it through drills, training. I mean, he looked good. Grant DeBose, Monday, shined. After missing all that practice time, shined. You know, that's what we need. We need 6 good receivers to start the season with. And we have a competition for 8 receivers. So I can't be more thrilled with the Packers and the receiver crew right now. Wicks continues to look good. You know, DeBose and Wicks, Melton or Heath. I mean, who are we going to keep? So I'm excited to find out. I mean, we have our 4. We have Watson. We have Dobbs and Watson. We switch that because we know who number 1 is and we know number 2 is. And then there's Reed, who I think is going to be number 2. And Samori Toure, I can't stop talking highly about him. I like his special team, capabilities, his route running capabilities, just the way he plays. He seems like he's smart. I compared him to Micah Hyde last week, and I will continue to compare him to Micah Hyde. He's the offensive version of Micah Hyde. He's there when you need him on offense, and he shows up on special teams. So I couldn't be more excited. With Gary with a full week of practice and Van Ness starting with the ones, this is great. Kingsley Egumbare, he's playing lights out, which we need because we need Gary to slowly return. We need 30% of the snaps in the first game and 60 the next and 75, and then, that's where he stops, But we can't start right away with this guy. So having Kingsley Egumbare show up and play well, that's what we need. We played against the Patriots in the practices this week, and I think if you're going to play against a team and be with a coach and be around a team and the way a team plays, I think the Patriots, man, that's got to be one of the best teams. I mean, it's not like we're ever going to play against the Bears. It's not like we're going to have a joint practice with the Bears. I mean, hell, let's do that. That'd be exciting. I mean, that would be the most intense joint practice in the history of joint practices. So apparently second day with the Patriots was kind of like it would be with the Bears the instant it started. So, but day 1 with the Patriots was a very good day. I mean, a lot of learning, a lot of good coaching, I love to see Belichick and LaFleur together on the same field. That excites me when they're just talking and they're talking about football and how to coach and how to be better coaches. And then LaFleur couldn't learn from anybody better than Belichick, just to be on the same field with him for a tiny bit of time. Jesus, that's perfect. So being with the Patriots, very excited about being with the Patriots. The first day of Patriots and Packer joint camp, Packers seemed to be the better team that day. Offensively, defensively, all around, we were just the better team. Love hit Watson deep over the rookie Gonzalez. Dobbs got involved. Musgrave got involved. The defensive line handled the Patriots very well. Day one, go Packers. Day two of joint practices did not seem to go very well. Apparently the Patriots were a little more intense that day than us. And on every side, from defense, offense, they just were better than us. Killed us in the red zone. We did nothing against their defense in the red zone. Like 2 touchdowns, and they got Billy Zappi got 4 touchdowns against us in the red zone. Mac Jones got 3 touchdowns. So we got kind of beat up in the second day, but as to be expected, the Patriots as a coach team is probably one of the best coached teams in football. Talent-wise, they've struggled a little bit here lately, but as coaching goes, they've always done well. Ask Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers never had good games against the Patriots. In his career against the Patriots, you go look at the numbers. They were never good games. We struggled. We should have killed them, we thought, and I thought personally every time we played the Patriots, we should have killed them, and we barely beat them or lost to them all the time. So. That's that Bill Belichick way of thinking, you know what I mean? So eliminate the best player you got. So what did he do? He just took away Aaron Rodgers from us. Oh, it sucks. Who's he going to take away now? Because we don't have that one player. We've got just weapons everywhere. We got Jordan Love learning LaFleur's system and playing LaFleur's system. Not Aaron Rodgers learning the system and doing what he feels like and, improvising LaFleur's system. Jordan Love is just going to play the system the way he's taught it, at least for the first 5 years, and then we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Just like with McCarthy and Rodgers. Like I said before, you knew when McCarthy wasn't the coach anymore is when it was all about Rodgers, and then we didn't really give a shit about McCarthy. Well, he's the coach of the team. He's the one calling the plays and setting the pace for the team. It's the coach. So now we have a coach-led team with a quarterback and a lot of talent around him. So we'll see what happens. Day 2 of joint practice was fight after fight after fight. So, and when we have things like that, you don't learn much from it. Practice gets killed. The learning part of practice is gone, and it just becomes anger. So day 2 of joint practices, I don't know if we learned anything those days. On that day, we learned that the Patriots were more intense. Intensity is so huge. That's one thing the Packers I always felt failed at. I just never thought we were a very intense team. So, and you see what happens when you're not. The other team kicks your ass. The preseason game, on the other hand, I didn't feel like we got our asses kicked. Not first team. And not even second team. I felt we had it. And if the game hadn't been suspended, who knows what would have happened. Shout out for them suspending the game or stopping. Why would you continue? It's just preseason. And with such a serious injury, you had 2 joint practices together. You learned as much as you could. The preseason game for the first, 3 quarters of what we saw, Packers looked good. Patriots looked way better than the Patriots have looked, to be honest with you. We sat 14 starters, so the Patriots didn't see us. They didn't see all we have. They didn't see all our defense. So, but what we did do was play a pretty good preseason game. I was quite happy with the preseason game. First drive, I just threw that away. I didn't even pay attention to the first drive. The bad snap by Myers, that was horrible. First of all, it was early, and second of all, it was way over his head. So I was like, man. Oh, and then the first series for the defense, well, it's a momentum change when you're driving down the field and then the ball gets snapped over the quarterback's head and it gets fumbled in the back and it's all the way back by the 5 or 6 or 7 and they get to start there. Oh, you guys get to start here? So I'm not blaming the defense for any of that. So second drive, it stalled out, but Musgrave, a couple nice catches. Dobbs, a couple nice catches. Good job on the Patriots stopping us, but still, the players that we want to get the ball to, we're getting the ball. Dillon, good running. We're not even seeing Aaron Jones. We're just getting Dillon. And I love A.J. Dillon, don't get me wrong, and he's good for 4, he's good for 5. But it's Aaron Jones that gets the 4 and 5, and then, oh, breaks loose, and then it's 35 yards later, touchdown. So Patriots didn't see any of that. They didn't see any of David Bakhtiari. They, you know, we got lucky. But the third drive is exactly what I expect from the Green Bay Packers. 93 yards. Penalty brings us back to the 7, and 93 yards later, on 5 plays, the Green Bay Packers scored a touchdown. Jordan Love can obviously throw more than 7 yards, Colin Cowherd, because he showed it to you. Romeo Doubs, electrifying catch. Keeping that left foot down or dragging that left foot, heel, whatever you did to make that, amazing. Awesome catch. Good throw by Jordan Love. He put it up in the air and he gave his receiver the opportunity to catch the ball and make a play. He also made a play with his legs, and he made a stiff arm, run through the middle, and kind of make a slide, and got a penalty on it. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but he kind of was looking back at that guy when he was sliding going, come on, fucker, land on me. So, and he did, and he got the penalty. A.J. Dillon again, 5 yards at a time. Good stuff. We'll take that every time. I said that when we got John Starks that one year. John Starks only goes forward. And we won the Super Bowl that year because John Starks only went forward for 2, 3, 4 yards at a time. If you hadn't got injured in that playoff game against the Niners, we probably would have won that playoff game against the Niners. Just for the fact is that you would have given us the 2 or 3, 4 tough yards in that cold, nasty weather. So, yeah. Good job, AJ. And then my bright shining star, Jaden Reed, with a 19-yard reception on a dart from Jordan Love for the touchdown. 5 plays, 93 yards, touchdown, Green Bay Packers. That's exactly what I expect. And to think Bakhtiari, Aaron Jones, Musgrave, the starting, when I think of the starters is Watson, Dobbs, Jaden Reed, Aaron Jones, Musgrave, and then that offensive line. Jordan Love's going to be in a really good place, I think. So, you know, shout out to that third drive, because that third drive was needed. I don't know, like needed. There's been a lot of shit said. Jordan has taken it from all these different angles. He can always, he's a manager. He's just a fight. He can only throw 7 yards. Listen, man, he's got all the talent in the world, and we look good on that third drive. So, you know, Carlson made the extra point. That was huge. He made all 3 of his kicks on Saturday, and that is a big turnaround from the week before. So good for him. It's what we expected. Like I said before, Bisaccia was his brother's coach. Now he's his coach. His brother struggled a little bit until Bisaccia took over for him and started to be his coach. I think we're in a good place. I really do. I think that's why they didn't bring anybody else in, because they just knew that this kid is the pedigree. It's all about pedigree, right? Defense. Yeah, I thought the first team defense, or what was the first team defense, did very well against the Patriots and stopped them. So, and I saw no problems with it. Of course, you know, you're not getting all what the Patriots have to offer either, but they didn't get Jair Alexander. Campbell was injured, which we will talk about that. That seems to be worse than what we think. I didn't even know anything about it until I saw a few things on it, how there's a walking boot and a scooter next to his locker. So I guess that's kind of bad news. But McDuffie, I think he'll fill in very well. He plays very well. Quay Walker, I think, is the star of the team on linebacker anyway. So, you know, we'll get through it. Kingsley Ekenbara, like I said, played well. 2 sacks, a strip fumble. And he is replacing our number 1 defensive end. I mean, that's what he's doing. So, which is huge, because he's probably going to replace Preston Smith next year, and Rashawn Gary will take the other side. So, good on you, Mr. Kingsley. I hope you keep playing well. Yeah, like I said, you know, the defense played well, and we have some standouts on that team, and not the starters, not these, what we consider to be the superstars of the team, the Clark, the Whites, you know, Quay Walker, of course, Alexander, the best. But Carl Brooks and Colby Wooden, like, these guys are late round pickups, and they are shining in training camp, in the game. I believe both of them had a sack, hits in the backfield, hits on the quarterback, hurries on the quarterback. I mean, these guys are defensive line. These guys aren't edge rushers. These guys aren't linebackers. These guys they're showing up and shining in camp. Carrington Valentine just continues to shine. He's everywhere. He's all over the field. I've heard the discussion about starting him and putting Rasul Douglas at safety because we're just so unsure of safety. I also don't believe Rasul Douglas is his safety, so I don't know how you really pull that off. But you do have to put your best players on the field. My question is Eric Stokes better than Carrington Valentine? That's the question. We'll see how Stokes does in his third year. Because in his second year, he wasn't as impressive as his first year. And the only reason he was so impressive in his first year is because we were so impressed with how a rookie played in his first year, being thrown into the fire. And then in his second year, we saw some weakness. In his third year, this is a big year for Stokes. So I'm expecting Eric Stokes to either have a big year or Carrington Valentine seems to be a dog, a football player. That's what we need on our team. Somebody who's always around the ball, somebody who's always making an attempt to get the ball, knock the ball down, or tackle the guy who's got the ball. That's huge. Like I said, Van Ness looked good. He's still learning. He needs reps more than anybody because he's got, like I said, all the tools. So if he gets the reps and he combines them with all the tools, he's just going to beat everybody up in football. They do call him Hercules for a reason. Defensively, I don't see a lot of weakness. I see a lot of depth, especially with this Carl Brooks and this Colby Wooden showing up. Linebackers, if Campbell is seriously injured, we are thin. Having McDuffie was just as a backup for the season, you know what I mean? That wasn't, Wilson and, the Tyreek Carpenter. That kid was drafted as a safety, pushed over to linebacker. I don't know if he's ready to be our starting linebacker. So, fingers crossed Devondre Campbell comes back. The superstars of that night, though, honestly, are these receivers and these running backs trying to make the team. Malik Heath has from practice to both games has been a huge part of each. And in this last game, I think he whoops 5 for 75. I mean, blocking downfield. Grant DeBose, 2 for 27, but threw some really nice blocks. I believe Emmanuel Wilson was the first 53 yards of one of the first drives when he came out with Clifford. And I believe DeBose threw 2 nice blocks on it. I mean, DeBose just showing up, shining for somebody who missed the first 2 weeks of camp. So I'm excited to see who we keep as receiver because you're going to have to let one go. And if you let one go and you have all this faith in him, he's just going to get grabbed on waivers. So who are they going to take a chance to let go to not get back on the practice squad? That's the question. You know what I mean? Carlson making all 3 kicks, huge. These young receivers biting for 5 and 6. I don't think we'll keep 7 receivers because they're too talented. And we need we need to keep other positions because we're thin in other positions. I don't know. Good third week. Good job, Packers and Patriots, for just saying, hey, we saw what we needed. Let's just move on. Hopefully Mr. Bolden comes back just as strong as he was. I hate to see anybody get injured. It really sucks. If you love your Packers as much as I love my Packers, subscribe. Hit the like button because why don't we like Packer stuff? That's what I always say. And have a wonderful Sunday. I'm FB. Peace.